Hey guys, this is Frenzy, bringing you the second game between MtwDimaga and Jyp. Jyp is the red Protoss in the left position, and MtwDimaga is the blue Zerg in the right position. It's going to be on dual site from Intel Extreme Masters Tournament in China. Looks like from this pylon placement, he is going to go for a Forge Fast Expand. Pretty easy to do, however, we've seen Nest-T deny this was a Spinecrawler rush, but the timings have to be almost perfectly to be able to pull that off. Looks like this probe is going to come around, comes right after this 9 pylon. It's a little bit early than some people have been probe scouting, but this used to be the standard for probe scouts. It allows you to be able to deny this hatchery from going up. And forces a pool first out of your opponent. Looks like he's probably going to go for a 15 pool. Yep, we do see the pool coming down now. And now he's just going to pull back after he sees that pool and patrol this hatchery location and make sure it doesn't come up. He will be coming back in. And not too much else to say. We see the Forge coming up. We'll probably go for that Nexus before the cannon yet again. Just something that Jyp has figured out that he can do if they don't take a gas geyser or if it's a late pool. I don't really know. It looks like Dimaga is going to try to get this up at around 16, but this probe is going to be as annoying as possible. Oh, and it looks like he does get the hatchery up, so that's going to be a pretty big win for Dimaga. Getting that hatchery up before the Zerglings come out to take out that pylon or the scouting probe. Definitely good for Dimaga, but not huge. We see the cannon coming up now. He can wall off with a gateway here. And that's probably what he's going to do. There's a couple different ways to make a wall off here. You can use the cannon in the wall, or you can put buildings on the outsides of the cannon in order to make it a little bit of a stronger wall versus any sort of a Baneling bust. And just chasing down that probe, trying to deny as much information as possible. Obviously, no information to really be had in his main base. He hasn't taken any gas geysers, just droning up as much as possible. We see both gases coming down now for Jyp. And it looks like there is a little bit of room here. He will probably add in the cybernetics core right in this little space here and make a stronger wall off that it would be if the cannon was used in the wall off. We see this probe coming out here, but the Zergling is going to run directly by it, so this probe being found out probably was just trying to scout out this base, but Dimaga indeed took the top base instead. We see the second queen getting produced and coming down now. And yep, the cybernetics core taking a part of this wall. Just chronoing out probes as many as possible. Both players just gearing up for a nice little macro game. It looks like he will scout this base as well, so he's going to know about this third base. Did he get a vision of it? Yes, he did. So Jyp does know that Dimaga took a quick third, and it looks like he's chronoing out his warp gate. We'll have to see if he goes up to 6 gates or if he does something else. It looks like he's going to go for Stargate. Interesting positioning on the Stargate. I guess it's right towards the ridge closest to his opponent, so he's able to get out those Void Rays and get them over to his base, or Phoenixes, or whatever units he does produce out of this Stargate. But it's also pretty easy for an Overlord to scout this, although why would an Overlord be in this position? So it's not really that bad. Usually Overlords are just parked on this waterfall because it is a high ground location, and they're not able to see it when they're moving out, so you can get a good glimpse of whatever units are coming out. It looks like he did slip out 2 Zealots as soon as he moved up that Overlord onto the waterfall. So Jyp is going to sneak these Zealots over here, maybe looking for this base to see if he took a fast fourth, or it's just going to slip into the main or something and try to stay out of this Xel'Naga vision so that Dimaga doesn't build any extra Zerglings. And it looks like it is working so far. Dimaga just droning up. Might be able to kill a few drones with these. And he does have this evolution chamber up. Didn't scout the Stargate, but just senses that it could be coming around this timing, so it's a good time to have an evolution chamber and just use upgrades if it never comes. We'll have to see if this catches Dimaga a little bit off guard, or if he does plant down spore crawlers beforehand. And these zealots are going to come in now. We'll have to see what they go after. It looks like Dimaga targeting down that whatever that thing is before the zealots. I don't know if that was a misclick or what. It probably was. He probably just wanted to A-move the queen. And all these zerglings are going to get a surround on these zealots, and they're going to get cleaned up without really any damage done to Dimaga. These two zealot pressures just not really doing much. Looks like he gets one drone kill, but definitely not worth it. And it looks like we do see an overseer coming out and a hydra den being produced. Kind of interesting. And we do see the phoenix and the void ray coming in. Going to clean up that queen. That's why he got that queen so low health. So this is going to kind of help to do a little bit of damage here. But a lot of spore crawlers being produced, and he won't be able to target down all of these at once. Looks like he is going to go for the one that's the most complete, but one of these should finish and be able to repel this little pressure. But meanwhile, he's just doing a lot of damage. It looks like the one did finish. He's just going to try to pick off a couple overlords, maybe pick off this upgrading evolution chamber. And a reproducing spore crawler is going to change all of that. Still trying to get an angle where he can hit it, and he is hitting it there. But hydras come out, and are they going to get this void ray? It looks like they will not. So all the air units still alive for JYP. But with these hydras out, there's not really going to be much that JYP is going to be able to do. Also spore crawlers at each base. So Dimaga's pretty safe, and it didn't really do that much damage. If we look at the unit boss tab, a little bit more for Dimaga, but with these hydras out, it really nullifies. As you can see, the Stargate's just sitting idle now, so that was quite a few resources that were sort of wasted. However, these phoenixes are going to be useful in later battles, and just the overall presence of them throughout the map. And it looks like the void rays falls to hydras in the middle of the map, just not really paying attention, not quite quick enough to pull that back. And it looks like Dimaga might be gearing up for some sort of a push. I'm trying to pick off a few drones on these gas guys. There's actually a better area to pick off drones, because if he never realizes this could have two drones in the gas geyser the entire game, and that adds up very, very quickly. Always better to try to pick off a drone out of each extractor, because it looks sort of like there's two or three in the gas geysers. It's hard to notice unless you actually click on it. So I'll just check back every once in a while and see how long this gas geyser. Well, he did catch it right away, but that could have stayed for a lot longer than it did. Looks like the zealot gets a surround on the Selnaga tower. These phoenixes just still trying to be annoying, but this push is actually going to be pretty strong from Dimaga. Enough hydras here to be able to push back any air units, and it looks like meanwhile he was trying to go for Colossus Tech and take a third base, so he's going to be a little low on units right now. But pretty good force field, segmenting about 4 or 5 roaches out of the fight. And Dimaga just going to pull back now. Might try to do another engagement. I'd like to see a flank from this high ground, make him use a few more of those force fields. It looks like he is trying to catch those phoenixes, but JYP is paying attention to that army movement. Killing off another zealot there at the Selnaga. Now JYP's got a, as you can see, he was down in this area, he moved back up to here. Army positioning just really important in this game, just so that he could pull back if there was an engagement at his natural. And now it looks like JYP is going to come and clear the Selnaga tower. I'm not sure if he's going to continue with this push. It is 2 Colossus and a handful of Stalkers. Actually, quite a few Stalkers, handful of Sentries, and a few Zealots mixed in. We see +2 weapons coming up for Dimaga. Does any upgrades? Looks like 1-1 for JYP. So JYP right now has the upgrade advantage, but no more upgrades coming for JYP. +2 coming for Dimaga, so Dimaga's going to catch up fairly shortly. We do have the Spire coming up. It looks like it's before Lair this time, so we'll see if he overproduces Corruptors again. It looks like he does. 13 Corruptors instantly being produced as soon as that comes out. Kind of weird. Not really sure how I feel about it. I guess with these air units it might pay for itself, but just seems kind of odd. So these Corruptors are going to come out, and that's going to nullify pretty much any Colossus play whatsoever. And I mean, Dimaga just macroing like a beast. You see 200, 200, and 138 for our Protoss. And I mean, JYP, definitely not someone to be taken lightly. Just such good macro coming out for Dimaga. And all these Corruptors getting into position. There are 3 Colossi that are going to melt to these Corruptors. And it looks like a good concave, but the force field just ruining that concave for Dimaga. But still, quite a few Roaches engaging in battle here. And he's crushing this force right now. All of the Colossus fall. Again, really good force fields, trying to keep out as many units as possible. And I'm not really sure who's going to take this engagement. Corruption going down on all of these units. And if he can keep segmenting this army, it looks like quite a few Hydras being able to participate in battle, however. There is blink on these Stalkers, but it looks like it's not really being used that much. It looks like Dimaga is going to be pushed up back for now, but as we can see, 14 Roaches, and Roaches rallying in right now. Hive on the way. We do have these Phoenixes scouting this 4th base, but I don't really see JYP being able to do all that much. Surprised that he's still building Colossus with all of these Corruptors out. That Colossus is going to fall in about 2 shots to all of these Corruptors. Looks like going after these Phoenixes now, but Phoenix is a lot faster than Corruptors. Looks like going to try a different area of engagement here. A little bit harder to force field that off. And there's not enough force fields anyway left. And it looks like we do see the blink micro coming down, but the Roach is hugging these Stalkers. And it looks like JYP might be broken here. And is Dimaga going to really take this series 2-0 against JYP? Oh my god. Dimaga just so good. I mean, Zerg having trouble after this patch against Protoss, and Dimaga just showing that with overwhelming macro, you can just take on even the strongest players in the world. So really, really nice to see. Always happy to see Zergs doing well in tournaments, as that is my main race. And we see this 3rd is going to fall for JYP. JYP not going to leave this game quite yet. Really doesn't want to give up this game to Dimaga, but it looks like it's going to just be GG very, very shortly. Dimaga almost maxed out, and with a 70 supply of JYP, looks like Dimaga is going to take this game 2-0. Dimaga trying to take the goal, or JYP trying to take the goal, doing anything he can to keep into this game. But it's going to be too much as soon as this push comes through. Just a handful of units out for JYP and a fully maxed army for Dimaga. Excellent force fields in the perfect position to segment all of these armies from coming in. Or all of these units, rather. We see the Greater Spire coming up, but it doesn't even really matter. He could just pump units and throw them at JYP, and I think JYP would break now. And there we go, GG from JYP. Dimaga takes the series 2-0 against the Korean, so there still is hope for the foreigners. And I hope you enjoyed this series. You can check out more of them at blip.tv/FrenzyStarcraft. I'm going to be trying to do as many games from IEM, and afterwards just as many games as I can find to cast on replay sites. So I hope you enjoyed it. Check out some more of my games, and thanks for watching.